students. Hope you all are fit and healthy at your places and utilizing your study time well. And now it's time for science. Let us summarize Chapter 2, Where Plants Live, Adaptations. Here we will learn about habitat, adaptations, plants on land, plants in water, and other plants. Plants are an important part of nature. These green lungs can be found in land and in water. The local environment of a plant is known as its habitat. Plants adapt themselves in order to survive in their habitat. Adaptations are the special features that helps a plant to survive in its habitat. Let us study about the division of plants' habitat. It is divided into terrestrial or land habitat, which means plants which grow on land. It is further divided into plants grown in the plains, plants which grow in deserts, plants which grow in mountains, plants grown in heavy rainfall areas, plants grown along the seacoast, and the plants grown in marshy or swampy areas. Our next division is aquatic or water habitat plants, which means plants which grow in water. It is further divided into floating plants, fixed plants, and underwater plants. So now let's start with plants which grow in plains. They have more space to spread out. They grow several branches. They have flat leaves which help in more transpiration, that is, more water loss from the leaves. Flat leaves also help to trap more sunlight. Mango, neem, peepal, etc. are examples of these plants which grow in plains. These trees lose all their leaves in autumn and new leaves grow in spring. But how do plants grow in deserts? Plants grown in deserts are called succulents, as they store water in their stems or leaves. They have prickly spines which prevent animal eating and reduce water loss. Some plants have seasonal leaves. Leaves are covered with hair which reduce water loss, while some plants are leafless and photosynthesis takes place in their green stems. They have waxy coating on the stems and leaves which also helps to reduce water loss. And lastly, they have long root system which go deep into the ground to absorb water. Cactus, wild cherry, jatropha are examples of desert plants. But what about mountain plants? Here, the plants are tall and cone-shaped. They have needle-like leaves which prevent water loss and shed snow easily. They have waxy coating on the needles to prevent transpiration. The dark color of the needles helps to absorb more sun's heat. Some of the examples of mountain plants are pine, cedar, spruce, etc. Children, do you know about the cold tundra region? Tundra region has a permanent frozen sublayer of soil called permafrost. Tundra plants, they grow in clumps to protect themselves. Some plants have dish-like flowers which help the plant to stay warm. Now let's hear for plants growing in heavy rainfall areas. Plants grown here are evergreen, which means they do not lose their leaves. Some examples of these plants are teak, lychee, and rice, etc. And the plants which grow along the sea coast. Coconut trees. They are adapted to live in salty water. Seeds of these plants are dispersed by water. And do you know about the plants grown in marshy or swampy areas? These areas have clay sticky soil, so air cannot reach their roots. Mangrove trees grow in these areas as they have breathing roots. Let us study about water or aquatic plants. Floating plants. These have roots not fixed with waterbed and have reduced stems. Leaves are very spongy and stomata is on the upper side so that they can have sunlight for photosynthesis. Duckweed and water hyacinth are examples of floating plants. Fixed plants. Roots are fixed with waterbed and stems are long, hollow and flexible. Leaves are broad with stomata on the upper side with waxy coating which makes the leaves dry. Lotus and water lily are some examples. Underwater plants. Their roots are fixed with waterbed. Stems are delicate and flexible. Leaves have no stomata, but they breathe through their body surface. Pondweed, tape grass are some examples. Plants having no chlorophyll? Yes, these plants are non-green plants and are also called as saprophytes. They cannot produce their own food and so depend on dead plants and animals for their nutrition. Indian pipe, coral root plants are some non-green plants. And here comes carnivorous or insectivorous plants. These amazing plants, they grow in poor soil where there is no nutrition. They have developed insect traps to get nutrition. Pitcher plant, sundew plant, Venus flytrap are some examples of carnivorous or insectivorous plants. They have digestive juices in them which help in absorbing nutrients from the insects they trap. Children, with this we come to the end of the chapter. Hope you all are thorough with it. Learn it properly for your assignment which you will be receiving soon. Thank you.